Well, welcome to another episode of Cleantech and Coffee. Today I am here with Mattias Hansson. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's really good to have you here. You are an investor in Wati.
Yes.
You're a great fan of Real Madrid.
Yes. The greatest.
And we share some other interests. You
do.
have found some efficiency pockets that you have been able to utilize really well in this energioptimering.
Yes.
You do early stage investing just like us.
Yes.
And I think you believe in the importance of building long-term business relations just like we at Cleantech Invest.
That's key.
So we share actually quite a few things in how we do business, I think. So great to have you and ask you some questions. Let's just dig into it. When you look for early stage investing, which is what you partly do through Sales Invest, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for people that I like.
Yeah.
And people with passion.
Yeah,
And people that want to change things.
yeah,
And be dominant. And also I want to see synergies
yeah.
with the rest of my investments.
Yeah, because you've made quite a few now.
Yeah, it's 22 at the moment.
Yeah, 22 at the moment, yeah. So very much a people's, well, you are a people's person, but it's also a people's game for you when you invest then,
It
right?
is. It is.
How do you actually evaluate? How do you look at that? How do you...
Myself is a person of feelings. So often I feel if something is right or not.
Yeah,
But now I've been a little bit more clever than I was in my first investment. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was only on the people and the passion and the synergies. But now I also have a very good people I can ask for advice.
yeah, yeah.
You, for example, and other
Yeah, yeah.
people.
Yeah.
We can invest together. And if they don't like it or if they do have very good questions, I use them.
Yeah, use that
Think
also.
twice.
Yeah. Well, we have noticed very much the same. It's largely about the teams we invest in.
It is. It
Of
is.
course, you need to have a fundamental sort of belief in the business idea, but yeah, it tends to be very much about the people.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps you could say a few things just about this efficiency opportunity. You've built a company with very good margins in this energioptimering.
Yeah, it is.
What is it that you do there?
We are looking for the best way to handle the whole energy issue, how to say. If you work with energy efficiency, if you work with energy taxes, whatever
Yeah.
you have cost in energies.
Yeah, energy-related costs. Yeah,
Energy-related cost. We help them with everything.
Yeah.
And we do it with the highest quality
yeah,
and with full transparency.
yeah, yeah. And that seems to be going really well for you. I think these pockets tend to be also bigger in terms of monetary value than some companies or people think.
It is. It is.
They say there's no money laying on the floor, but there really is, I think, still in some
It
ways.
It's a lot of savings to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And you need absolutely top competence
Yeah.
in each area.
Yeah.
And it's so many different areas.
Yeah, which the companies rarely have themselves.
Yes, they have themselves, but on different persons.
Yeah,
And the problem is that they can't work together because they don't speak the same language.
right. Yeah. I actually said companies rarely have it themselves, but you're right.
Yeah.
They may have it, but it's in different units and different. Yeah,
You're right, because we also work with the energy companies.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy companies, they sell these services to other
yeah, exactly.
companies as well. So
Yeah.
they have the competence,
Yeah.
but they can't take care of it due to lack of time or due to lack of different communications.
Right.
But in many companies, they lack the
Yeah,
competence as well. As you
yeah.
said.
Well, a lot of our investments are actually finding different energy or resource efficiency pockets that they monetize.
True.
This Energize that they have found compressed air, where there's a lot of potential savings to be made. Rescue that you have heard of. They
Amazing
have found, it is an amazing company.
Yeah.
They have found a waste resource in restaurants that they can actually use. But it's also in a way finding efficiency pockets that are big enough
It is.
to build multi-billion-dollar markets.
It is. And as you mentioned to me, the carbon footprint, it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Exactly for the big concerns.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're able to lower that as well, of course, these companies. Well, final question, I think I would like to hear just a little bit. This building long-term relationships. As you know, we have put up offices, one in Los Angeles, I was in Berlin for half a year. It's been great for us, but it also, of course, takes some time to get the results.
They do.
How do you work with long-term relationships?
I feel when I working the hardest, maybe for 1 year, 2 years, something like that, nothing is really happening.
Yeah, yeah,
And people around are wondering, what are you doing?
yeah,
Then later, after 12 to 18 months or something, that it come results beyond limits.
yeah,
And people are amazed.
Yeah.
But at that time, you take it quite relaxing.
yeah,
That's how it works in business. You need to have time to work long term
yeah,
and to do it with full transparency and have people that are doing exactly what they say in right time.
yeah. Yeah, and that period where you're actually not getting the results, that is the tough period,
It is
I would
really
say.
tough, yeah,
But
really
that's
tough.
when you need to trust yourself.
Yes.
And just,
And never give up.
Yeah, yeah.
Just continue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. I think it was very similar to our experiences with these pop-up offices in the US and in Germany. We are now seeing the results, but in the beginning it was basically a lot of meetings, a lot of finding the right actors, and then as time proceeds, you get the results. And then, of course, everyone thinks that it happened probably overnight, but it takes a long time.
You need to build trust. And what you are
Exactly.
doing in Cleantech Invest together with Lasse and your co-workers is really amazing.
Yeah,
I
well,
like the
I'm
company
glad.
Cleantech
Yeah.
Invest a lot.
Good. Good with some praise here.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, Mattias. I think these 3 topics were well covered. Good to have you on.
Thank you.
We'll meet
Nice to
soon.
be here. Yeah.